Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Sutton and this is the first YouTube video that I'm posting. It's basically the process of working through a collage. Collages are something that I really like working on, and recently I've been able to spend a lot more time focusing on it, and hopefully over the next few years really honing in on this part of my mixed media art. Definitely enjoy and leave a comment and subscribe. I'm CCWSartartart. That's CCWSartartart, and I'm on that on YouTube, Instagram, even Reddit. So enjoy, and I'll see you at the end of the video. At this point in the collage, I'm already kind of in stage 2. I've already sat in front of the TV and gone through magazines and all my materials to try to find what I'd like to use for this collage. When I'm looking through all my materials, what I'm generally looking for is just items that can play well with the background. In this case, the background is the large image of the room with the chair and the curtains. Sometimes it feels like my hands are just way too big and pieces just easily fall out, like right there, but I always just like using scissors way more than X-Acto blades for some reason. I just feel like I have way more control in my hand than trying to delicately cut around an image. Here's an example of what it looks like after I cut something out. It's generally not perfect, but I definitely think that that's fine. People aren't going to know what the original image that you cut out of the magazine or book looked like. So if you slightly cut off someone's thigh a little bit, or cut off someone's heel or something like that, that's not something that's going to be immediately drawn to people's eye because they have no idea that it was there in the first place. And just as you can perfectly see in this well-shot image, I'm finally using the X-Acto blade, and I'm using it to cut around the nozzle of that hand sanitizer. Sometimes when I'm looking at an item, there are certain sections that just look way too complicated to cut out at the time, so I'll just kind of skip over it like you saw me do right there. Between the book and the face of the girl, it just was like, I'll just come back to it when I need to. So I'm taking a little bit of time to round out the top of her head here because there was a slight corner, and when you're laying it down on a piece of paper for the collage, something like that corner on the top of her head would just really stand out and it would look extremely unnatural. So I'm just trying to even it out, make it a little bit more round so that it looks a little bit more natural when all this comes together. And of course, working with such small items, sometimes it's kind of easy using a natural oil in your finger to just lift up items like I did there with that Frasier DVD. Of course, I guess that means who knows what this is going to look like in 50 years down the road. Once I have it all laid out from what I assume it's going to look like at the end, I start actually gluing it all down, and it's kind of hard sometimes to actually start that process. Here's an example of how I apply glue to the back of my items. I just kind of, put it on and spread it around my finger. I know a lot of people like using glue sticks, but just always kind of use this process, so maybe in a year or two I'll end up using a glue stick, but for right now this is kind of what I've been doing. To add the dog to the chair, I need to kind of cut the armrest out from around the chair, so that's what I'm doing here. And once I kind of cut that line from the base of the seat to the back of the chair, I can just kind of slide that dog right in there to glue him down. And then sometimes when the paper is way too thin and I use way too much glue, I just rip it right down the middle. But I guess that is just what happens sometimes, and I didn't think that this was messed up enough, so I decided to still use it. And in the chaos of the rip of the chair, I completely forgot to add the Frasier DVD. But luckily with that X-Acto blade, I'm able to make some separation between the background and the chair. Cut that Frasier DVD in half so that I'm not having to put as much underneath the chair, so I don't have to make as much room with that cut. And then I can just slide it in there and glue it down. Here I'm about to add the hand holding the Sound of Music VHS coming through the window. So I'm making a little insertion from the curtain down with my X-Acto blade, and I'll just glue it down. Once everything's glued down, I finally get to flip it over, start cutting off all the edges, and then start thinking about what I want to name this piece. Who could forget the CBS Fox video classics? Well, if you made it to the end, thank you. This was just one collage of many that are to come. If you've checked out my Instagram page yet, there's just a ton on there, and there's just way more to come. I'm even working on some other shorts. I'm working on some paintings, and I just look forward to sharing it all with you. Have a great rest of your day.